Skip, what happened on the play in the fourth when Taylor got thrown out or got caught in the rundown? Was that supposed to be a double steal?
Yeah, it's there's a timing issue to that, and then we did not execute it.
So do you think, in retrospect, maybe, do you think you left Lingos in too long, or what do you think, just in terms of how that played out there, that end of that?
Well, I mean, no, I mean, just matchup-wise and whatever, I mean, look at the stat sheet, you know, it's one of those things where we're sitting here, you know, we can't, I don't want to say this, we need somebody to step up, you know, in those critical innings, as we just talked about, you know, as a team. But if we're not going to succeed, or we're not going to, I shouldn't say it like that. I should say, like, whatever the situation is, I want the person out there that to me is being the most aggressive with the best mindset. And honestly, with him in that situation, we thought, you know, he's still throwing the ball well. He made the one, I wouldn't even call it a mistake. The guy did a nice job offensively. No, I mean, I wouldn't, just because of the totality of, we're not real strong at the back end right now, and we just felt like our best chance was with, you know, a guy who's out there and has done a great job for us. And honestly, I thought he did a really good job. We just couldn't support him on the backside of it.
You said you're going to need Spencer and Connor both. Just how do you sum up your disappointment tonight and them going back-to-back pretty quickly there and just not being able to find it?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm disappointed. We're not giving up on them, but at some point it's got to happen, you know. And you know, we can't keep asking the same five guys to do it. And I thought tonight was the perfect example of, you know, you're going to have games where you're going to be trailing, but the game is within striking distance late in the game, and we're probably not deep enough to run out our guys that, you know, that hold the lead for us. We've got to have somebody that can give us a hold that's maybe not your first option when you have a lead, and that's what we're searching for. So yeah, I'm not real happy with the way that thing imploded. When I think we were down 3 runs at the time and still within, and then, you know, and to go out and do what we did, unacceptable. And you know, so we're looking for somebody to fill that role for us. But at some point, you know, it's got to happen. But those guys, you know, they're going to have, you know, we're still early. It's 15 games in. We're still going to have opportunities to do it. I hope that the result will be a little bit better than it was tonight.
Did you see something immediately that you need to change with either of them in the way they're throwing? Or?
It's mindset. It isn't stuff. You know, you're looking at both of them, great arms. Mindset, being aggressive. You know, wanting the baseball in that situation. It's time to grow up, is what I would say. And both of those guys are capable. They've done it before.
Even after today, you guys still scored over 9 runs in 4 of your last 6 games. Do you still think this offense is trending upwards?
Yeah, you're going to run into a game like that. We didn't do a real good job in our situational hitting. You're going to run into a game where it's just, you know, you're not going to fire on offensive cylinders the entire time. They popped one out there in the 6th. We're down a run. We're still in, you know, you got to find a way to win those baseball games. So my concerns are not the offensive piece of it at this point. My concerns are, let's take the mound, let's take the baseball, let's pitch it aggressively, and not just give it to people. You go back and you look at our losses this season, it probably has a lot to do with us walking people and not getting outs on bunts. Would you agree? You know, so, you know, offensively, we're going to score. We're going to do some things. I think we're going to play good defense. We got to be a little tougher, a little more mentally tough on the mound, and get the job done. And, you know, because the way that game was going, it was probably going to be a tough night to score. But when you give it to somebody, there's a difference in that.
Thoughts on team's energy tonight?
What's that?
Thoughts on the team's energy tonight?
You know, I think up until we started, you know, creating an inning for them, but, you know, we got to overcome that and keep going. But I don't doubt that the guys, people are trying, but at some point it's about execution. I thought the guys stayed into it, but, you know, I don't know you or if you play baseball, but it's tough to stand out there and watch, you know, walk after walk after walk in a tight ball game. It's a little frustrating. And at some point we gotta you know, we got to give us a little something to cheer about. So it just didn't happen tonight.
Do you think the issue with the playing the bunts defensively has to do with just you guys being young, or is it something where, you know, the more it happens, the more they start to overthink it?
Yeah, I think it's, as an athlete, you got to want to be in those situations. You know, you can, just like practicing free throws in basketball, you practice them all day long and practice, but then how do you create that real, you know, the tension and this whatever in the game? We just got to do a better job of that. I think tonight, probably a little bit of the technique piece of it. I mean, he stretched with the wrong foot actually tonight, and that play is always going to be kind of a banger over there. And that was realistically that was a difference tonight. But when they're in a bunt situation and we're bouncing the baseball in, that's not acceptable. They're giving you an out, throw a strike, let's take the out.
Even though Vanderpoy hasn't pitched in a while, he has the opportunity to be kind of a stopper in a sense with a big outing tomorrow. How important is that?
Well, as you know, I'm not happy with the way things transpired on the bump today, but all of that said, you know, we didn't score, so whether, you know, we played clean baseball the rest of the way, maybe we lose 1-0, it's still a loss. I feel good about our chances tomorrow in having Boyd on Sunday and the arms that, you know, have done a pretty good job up to this point, still rested and ready to go. So I feel pretty good about us being able to go out there and do what we said we want to do, which is win a series. So our guys are excited about that, looking forward to that.
How do you address defensively Torkelson with the nice diving catch and left at one moment, and then the next moment he's making an error in the field on a basic play? How do you address that?
You know, he's not played a lot of left field for us, so that's just inexperience. You know, bobbling a baseball in high school in the outfield, you probably have time to pick it up and then still look at lead runner. You don't have that same time in college, and so I think just the speed of the game, you know, if we're going that type of lineup where Leistering's our catcher, he's going to play out there more, and I just think the more experience he gets out there, the better and more aware of those types of things he's going to be.
Do you think that Spencer, is it just that he's thinking too much when he's out there instead of just going out there and letting his stuff just, I'm going to put it up there across the plate and see if you can hit it?
Yeah, I mean,
because he looks very tentative.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, it's getting, you know, hopefully, you hope that at some point it just says enough. You know, and I don't care whether we're talking about Spencer, we're talking about anybody in any sport. That eventually, as an athlete, you hope they get to a point where they're like, enough's enough. I got to trust. I'm good. I'm supposed to be here, and lay it on the line. I would agree with you. I just think it's like he's just lost his confidence. And, you know, I thought tonight was a perfect opportunity to get him back in there where the game wasn't on the balance to build that confidence. But at some point, he's going to have to do it. And, you know, he's got the stuff to do it. It's just now a matter of putting it together upstairs.
Was Hunter kept out tonight with the hamstring?
Yeah, he was tweaked from last night.
Do you know how long that?
It'll be day to day.
Okay.
You know, we'll see where he is tomorrow. We may DH him or something tomorrow. Plan is to hopefully get him back by Tuesday, but, you know, not push it. But he, you know, if the game was tight, we were going to probably, you know, he'd been available for a pinch hit tonight.
Are you getting any closer to where Strand can pitch for you, and how important would that be?
Well, yeah. I mean, guy coming off of, you know, that type of surgery, you know, we're expecting a little bit of a, you know, slow process for him. But yeah, he should be cleared medically sometime this week. At least that's the plan, to get back on the mound competitively. He's been doing simulated games up to this point. He looks and feels good.
Would that, like you said, you've got to find some other guys. He seemingly would be a key.
Yeah, I think, you know, with that though, you know, you got to be aware of pitch counts and things and bringing them back at an appropriate pace. But yeah, if we build him back up, he's definitely an option for us on the back side of it. As I know he is, he's worked very, very hard to get back to this point after the surgery. So we're looking forward to, you know, get him back out there in a competitive sense, because yeah, I think that is going to help us big time.
I know it wasn't a night filled with a lot of positives, but Hunter Jump did get another hit again. What have you seen from him? And even though the game is, I guess, lopsided at that point, I mean, how has he, you feel continue to grow, and has he impressed you, enough to the point where you're
Yeah.
comfortable with putting him in left field? And even though he had a misplay off the ball, like, do you see growth?
Well, two things. One, I don't think he misplayed that ball. It actually hit a pole or one of the railings and ricocheted. And two, I mean, it's, sometimes it's not what you're doing, it's just that somebody's doing a little bit better. I like the fact that he gives us option to depth, but, has he played his way ahead of people at this point? I think too early to tell. We talked about it in here last night, that the pleasing thing is when a guy sees this as opportunity, and plays fearlessly, which I thought he did again tonight, because I would say in his case, he hasn't had a lot of opportunities. He's done really well in our practices, in our simulated games and that, and he's like, I'm gonna lay it on the line, just compete. And I think when athletes do that and you have ability, there's usually gonna be some positive results to it. But I like what I'm seeing out of him. I like that he didn't give it a bat away regardless of the score. That's what you look for when you're talking about, there weren't a lot of positives, but what you look for as a coach is, who's still playing to that last out, who's still trying to make quality pitches. I thought Colby Davis coming in there, there was some growth there, and he gave up the double, but there was some positives with him too.
As a head coach, how important is that flexibility, whether it be in a pinch hit spot, in an outfield spot, or a guy like Spencer Torkelson or Gage Workman who can play several different positions?
Well, I think what we're finding is when we use certain combinations, or we got to move Lyle out from behind the plate, we've got a pretty good idea of what we're doing, barring injury. So, the flexibility that Spencer has, we can move him around. Certainly, Gage Workman can move him around. I think those are really, really good options for us. And part of the key to that, though, is making sure Hunter Bishop's healthy. Because I think when he's in the lineup and doing what he's doing, we're a different lineup. But I like the flexibility of those guys and being able to move them.
Have you ever had two guys start or even one guy start the season on a 15-game hitting streak like Lyle and Gage? Or have you seen that?
I'm old, so I'm probably somewhere. I'm sure I have. Yeah, it's pretty impressive. They both got one nice. Still going, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Bishop gonna be out for a while, or do you think it's?
He could have, if we needed a pinch hit tonight, he could have. We're just, he's been battling ever since he's been here, so I don't know if it's, but he'll be ready. He'll be ready.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,